Hello, Alice. Today we have Jamie and Taylor of the Drummer Exchange Program, and also our great and always here host, Luigi Maggioni over here. Everyone, round of clap, everyone. Now, what me and my host want to know is, how did the name begin? The band, who came up with it?
It's kind of a thing that most people who have been in a band have experienced at one point or the other, and it's a phenomenon known as the fluid instrumentalist syndrome. And sometimes when you get someone in your band, they don't work out for any variety of reasons. And most bands in this city have gone through, numbers. I've heard everything from 2 to 16 different players from other bands that we've talked to, but we basically couldn't hold on to a drummer at the beginning of this. And the band that we started, the drummer we started this band with, and this is going on 12, 13 years ago, and this band has existed in different states between now and then. But the guy we started it with, we started it, we had some songs that we were putting together, things were feeling great, and then he's like, I'm gonna go to the UK and finish my jazz studies next year. And we said, well, dingo dango, that's too bad. And at that point we were like already trying to figure out what's the name for the project. And for lack of a better name is really the biggest reason why. We had a lot of things that we wrote down and we just couldn't come up with anything good. And the funny thing is since we chose that name and branded ourselves that way and built the social profiles and the website and the emails and the t-shirts, we've come up with a whole bunch of other really much better names. But it is, we have gone through lots of drummers since. That was one of many examples. It was not our first time that we lost someone. We lost one to a pop punk band, rest in peace. We lost one that had a bad drug habit. We lost one that stole a bunch of money from the band. We had one that was a good friend, but the music chemistry in the end wasn't really there. So we have gone through a lot of drummers, but that particular drummer when we started, Nick, wherever you are, salute you in your jazz studies majors. That was the crucible for the one, I guess.
Gotcha. I first of all, I doubt any of the names you have are better than Drummer Exchange Program because I love that.
Thank you.
It's great.
Well, people think we're a drum circle. They're not sure what to make of us, and it's probably hurt us from a marketing standpoint. But at this point, just
but
yeah.
So the way you explained it is so real. Like that. I don't believe in being prejudiced or discriminating against anyone except drummers.
Right.
Because there are patterns. It's like why they be like this. It's I'm just gonna say it. It's a subclass of people. Those drummers. Anyway.
The real
But yeah, thank y'all for joining us. I'm really excited to get into this. Y'all have a show coming up is it Saturday?
Yeah, the 20th at the East Room, East Side Riot.
Hell yeah. East Side Riot. Yeah, shout out to Brad Stagg and those guys. They always put on a good show.
Absolutely. I've been in the audience at many East Side Riots, and it's always a great time. So for us to be playing one, please come out December 20th, Saturday.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Any other shows or releases you want to talk about?
So actually we're planning summer right now for shows. And we have a bunch of material that we recorded that we are in the mixing and editing part of. And that's what our focus is over these next couple cold months. So no, it's kind of a small break from shows after New Year's. And then some stuff in the works that I don't want to really announce yet because there's, like anything in this industry, the show isn't real until you're there and have played it. So many things can happen. A band can't make it from Chicago or whatever because of a snowstorm, that kind of thing, So things in the works, but they're a little further out. Our focus is getting this new material out. this past year we did put out a single, Cabin Fever, and there's about a whole album worth of material that we're very excited to get out there, because what we have up there for our EPs, it's a snapshot of a moment in time for us, and for that it's special to us and means something, but it is not representative of the band, of what the band's doing now, kind of thing. So we're excited to get that accurate present moment representation.
It's kind of brilliant, because we have had this anthology of music and this like conceptual effort of creating this love song really to one another. And like, we just continue to keep writing these bangers. And if you haven't heard Cabin Fever yet, please listen to it on Spotify or on Apple Music or anywhere you stream, because we just keep writing these songs that are just like, it's like, that's a single, that's a single, that's a single, you know what I mean? And so if the album ever happens, it's gonna be amazing.
Well, it has been recorded. It's a matter of the post-production of it at this point. But to what she's saying, yeah, there's a large bulk of material that is
Sounds like a
story. That is our story,
Yeah.
and there's lots of sweet and sensitive and feelings, and good ones and bad ones.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always what keeps people into what you're doing at a show.
Yeah.
And you got to bring a certain type of energy to a show sometimes. So,
Mhm.
but what we have recorded and are working on getting released this next year it has some of those moments, at least some of the heavier ones, and it does have some of the softer ones. We did review Full Disclosure and Every Not Because, and that's another softie but a goodie.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Seems like it's like, oh, I'd love to write my album, but I'm just cranking out singles all day. It's kind of a good problem to have.
Right,
so.
like, and that's not anyway like a pets of the ego, but it's just like, I feel like it's really fun working in a partnership and working in a team, because like there's ebbs and flows, right? But like, I feel like Taylor is writing a lot of really relevant stuff, relevant to what's going on in the world right now, relevant to what's going on in our lives individually and where we are in this stage. There's another piece of music called Artificial Dumbness that I'm particularly proud of. And that's just another example of something that wasn't originally part of the anthology, wasn't originally part of the concept album, right? But it's something that's like come to fruition, that's been like, but hold on, this is really important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how writing music goes and creating the people goes, and going with all these ideas. Well, this is going to be like this, and I'm going to orchestrate this here, and I hear this symphony in my head, and when you get there and you get in the room with the other people who are helping create it with you, not everything clicks that way, and you have to strike a balance of, how do we creatively make this work? How do we make everybody's schedules even work to be here on the same night, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And when you find the stuff that clicks, then okay, we're going to push this single out first because it has the energy that's driving it forward. And
Yeah.
it's a little bit of natural selection in the creative process, maybe. Where if our lullabies and love songs are good enough, Jamie, in the end, we'll get them out there.
Oh, yeah. In their own time. We'll only be making music for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. You said how old? Or guess.
How old
Sorry,
is the band, baby?
Yeah.
That's
How long
okay.
have y'all been making music together? I guess.
Oh gosh. Okay, so Taylor and I
Even outside
go.
of the band,
Taylor and I go way back. So it was sophomore year of college for me, and I was about to drop out because I was having a hard time with classical music. I really was, and I was having a hard time singing opera. And when I really wanted to be out performing, so I ran into this guy at a mutual friend's house, and he overheard me playing in the living room and was like, "Who is that?" And Eric says, it's Jamie. Just that's just what she does, right? And Taylor grabs his guitar and starts jamming along with me. So he pulls me aside and we both just talk. And it turns out that he had just hired another keyboardist and singer. And he's like, "What's this project? I'm really excited about it." And at that point, I was like, I'm working really hard in school. I'm taking it seriously, but I also am thinking about just moving out to Seattle. I'm really thinking about just taking the next semester off. But please, like call me in the future for whatever. So a week later, I get a phone call and it's Taylor Jiraki, and he tells me that the other girl isn't quite working out and he would like an audition. So along he comes back to the same mutual friend's house, Eric Schneider, we love you. And here comes the drummer, one of the best, one of the first, one of the greatest, right? Our Florida Sunrise, and he's playing drums on, was it a Clementine container, right? A box, because we didn't have appropriate drums. So that was our first.
That's how I got the name was for. It was a Florida Sunrise box of Clementines.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that was the first
so
official. That was the
But he
first
was to become the
official
first
jam.
drummer to break our hearts.
Hell yeah.
So just absolutely, and it just the drummer wasn't feeling it. The drummer was a bummer, and that's how drummer exchange program came to be what it is. But yeah, nonetheless, like that was the first time we came together. And to put that in perspective, I'm 36 years old, so I was what 22, right? And so here we are, 14 years later, and madly in love with each other. We're now been
That's such a
married for
cool
6
story.
years. Yeah,
That's so. Where was this? Where did y'all meet?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Well, no, we met in
Whitewater at a party.
At that party.
Well, I came to your house.
Yeah,
Your
the first-
sketchy house. Not
Yeah, oh,
your
yeah,
bad.
yeah, oh,
Just the house was a little creaky.
The Frederick house. Oh, no, it was creaky. It was haunted, and
Oh,
if
yeah.
whatever you say about hauntings,
Oh, we'll get into
if,
that.
if
We'll get
you've
into
experienced one, you know that how
No
real
doubt.
that stuff is. Anyways, it was and I was living in the attic of this house. It was not a finished attic. It was a. These were
This
my.
sounds amazing.
These were my youthful days.
The most haunted.
Oh, dude, I feel you.
We
on
were
that.
young and
Yeah.
hungry. You know what I mean? We were
Yeah.
young and
Smoking too
hungry.
many cigarettes.
Yeah.
Bad
Oh,
choices.
yeah. Lots of bad.
Going,
lots of
going
bad-
into debt over cigarettes. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, it was the early days, and yeah, so we played in that project for matter of a couple of years, and that was the one where the drummer kind of wanted to go a different direction musically, and we really wanted to do the pop punk thing specifically. And one day it's just like I'm out.
Artistic
Like,
differences.
I'm out, yeah, and that's fair, and that hurt for a while because I really thought what we had was really magical, but if the heart's not in it to win it, then the
If I
heart's
can-
not in it to win
Yeah,
it.
if I
and-
can break in just real quick, I think that's really important that like, if you gotta, whether it's like a relationship or a project where you're collaborating on something together, you have to invest yourself knowing that, I was gonna say that it might end, but that it will end.
That-
Whether you're together a week or whether you're together 50 years and then one of you dies, it
Right.
always ends. And so at any time you put yourself out there, it's kind of knowing that, for one reason or another, and it's always tragic, but like that this is not forever because nothing in this world is anyway.
Exactly, including
I'm
drummers.
rambling, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
No,
including
you're no.
including drummers,
No.
and ours has been specifically with drummers. They've come and they've gone, and for all different reasons. And we've been blessed actually recently to have. He's just like Jamie says, he's a golden retriever human being because
Yeah.
he is. He's just
Cooper.
Exactly what you want from a
no,
drummer.
he is, and he's a good guy, and he's a wicked good drummer. And being in Nashville, it's once we came down here, it was like the doors to the universe just opened because there's so many excellent. I mean, it's just an endless sea of excellent players here and excellent songwriters, and some who are both. And then
sure.
And it takes a while to kind of like sift through the guys who I need to make my $500 this
Yeah.
night. I'm a session guy, they want to do the Broadway cover thing, like, and make money doing it, like, right off the bat. And so you got to kind of sift through those kind of guys, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what they want to do. But when you're in an indie band that's creating original music, no one's going to know who you are. No one's going to give two flying F's where you,
Sure.
and you got to be willing to pay those dues. And we've been blessed to have found two guys down here who are really willing to pay those dues with us.
That's awesome, man.
So we've had Cooper now for a couple of years, and we hope to keep him as long as he's here. He's got a new baby, and he'll go back to Colorado maybe at some point. But you're right. When you're younger, you learn those lessons of nothing is permanent, everything is fleeting. And once you accept that, then you just
Live in the moment.
Make
what
part of
you
what the
can while
exchange
you got
program
it.
means.
That's awesome. So if I could back you up just a little bit. So y'all met, outside of Wisconsin, but then like kind of got to know each other in Wisconsin. Where'd you go from there? Did y'all come here?
Like, yeah, what
Oh.
time did you guys?
Yeah, no, we,
Yeah.
we met in Wisconsin still, played there for
Okay,
10, 12 years, and then
gotcha.
my job relocated here after the
Gotcha,
pandemic, and
gotcha. So it
it-
wasn't even like a music decision. It's
it factored in. It factored in because
Yeah.
you know
It's like, I
it's
can
not the
make
worst
this-
place to be.
I mean,
You can
Nashville,
kinda justify-
Nashville's music
yeah.
city.
That's-
so, like,
yeah, and it has been good for
tons
us.
of incentives.
Yeah,
To be totally
That's awesome.
frank,
Oh, I'm glad y'all are here.
yeah, thank you.
That's right.
Us too.
Glad to be here.
We love you guys. Like, to be totally frank, if it wouldn't have been because of music, we wouldn't have come
I
here
gotcha.
because, like, yes, we needed to keep Taylor's job, and that was not the first time that they had to furlough and do all that to their people. But nonetheless, we knew that if we wanted to move anywhere, we wanted it to be to a music city, and we wanted it to be somewhere warmer. So we came to visit, and we had a lovely weekend in Tennessee doing all kinds of stuff. But honestly, it was kind of a bumpy weekend. And like, I don't think it was until we saw a show at Third and Lindsley on a Sunday night, and it was like a live radio broadcast, and it changed my life. And there were so many people in that room, and we came from a place where we loved the music we made. We really did. And we played the venues in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is a great place to visit and a great place to support. But we never felt really support as far as there just wasn't people in the seats, especially on a Sunday night. Like, you know what I mean? And this was like almost a full room, you know, like from my perspective,
Yeah.
right? From what I was used to.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah, it was eye opening. It was like, oh wait, people come to see shows on Sunday night. These are original bands. Check two. Oh,
Hell
check
yeah.
3. They're really good
They
on
were
top of
really
it.
good.
You know, and the bartender's just like, oh, it's a slow night. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
like 150 people in this room right now. You know what I mean? And so, and coming here, of course, then you quickly learn that yes, you're moving into a sea where, you know, there's a million other bigger fish, and everybody's after some amount of what you're after too. Everybody's vying for those same slots at the same venues
Right.
every night of the week, and you know, it's brutal out there, right? And you're playing to rooms with musicians, which is always an honor, but you know, then you get some folks who are there to judge, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know,
Oh.
you know, so
I know exactly what you mean.
it can be
So
brutal
how
in
long-
Nashville. It's
How long have
almost a
y'all
little,
been here?
5 years, right?
yeah, 5 years now, yeah.
So I think, and y'all, like, I can tell y'all are just really sweet. Like, y'all have the right attitude about this, but like, there are definitely people with a stick up their ass that it's like, but I think this gets into like a bigger topic that we don't have to get too deep into, but something I've been thinking about a lot over like the last year is, I think evil stems from ignorance, because I think it is not only wrong to be evil, but it's also stupid. Like, it's not smart to be evil, because if you don't see how your actions are going to come back and bite you,
Yeah.
like, then that's a lack of foresight. That's a lack of information.
Yeah.
So I think evil, anyway, my point being, it's not exactly evil, but people being just an asshole, like in the music scene, they don't see how that's not going to help them, right? It's like, I think it is a way better idea to be collaborative.
Yeah.
Like, we're all working on this together rather than then to be competitive. Because it is like, there's a lot of people here, but it's a small town. It's very congested. Everyone knows each other. And you don't want to have a reputation for like snubbing people or being rude to anyone. If you can't get along with people, that's almost more important than how good your band is, right?
Absolutely.
If no one wants to work with you because you're a dick, then that counts for more than anything, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, y'all have like a really cool personality, but like, there are people that come here from out of state thinking they're just gonna take over. Like, oh, and it's like, it doesn't really work like that, because it's not necessarily about skill. And I think maybe that's I'll stop rambling here in a second, but it reminds me of like the music industry on like a bigger scale too, where it's like, if success came down to skill, then why would we have like these pop stars, right? It's like just completely artificial. Like, I'm just gonna just name out of a hat Katy Perry, which is like, it's not to take anything away from her, but it's like, there are like these prog metal bands that are just extremely technical and good at what they do, and there's a lot more work that goes into it, but they're not going to be at the same level of success as that. And I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot more that goes into success than skill. You can't just like treat people badly just because you're so good at what you do. I guess
For
is
sure.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For sure, absolutely.
Sorry.
No,
No,
don't be
yeah,
sorry at
yeah.
all. I love your
And
insights.
really, we still, to be totally frank and honest, most of the people we've met have still been really sweet. We've met
Most
some
people are really cool.
incredible people down
Yeah.
here. But you know when you're in that room where none of the bands could get a draw that night, and everybody was just there, like, when is this going to end? And you know, it exists amongst us, you
Sure.
know, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, and I think people learn pretty quick too. And it's not necessarily even a reflection of who they are as a person. It's just like people get in bad moods, you know. But like,
Right?
sure.
Yeah. It's so easy to snap when you've also been working all day, but then you had to run like a couple of errands before you got to the gig because like we had to pick up the t-shirts and like you needed to eat, but also you had to get gas, but also you needed to go and pick up the stuff from production. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes we're not our best versions of ourselves when we're about to make art. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, totally. I feel you. There's always got to be a mixture, but oh my gosh, the warmth of this community and just like and in other music communities in Tennessee, like wow, Clarksville, like what an incredible place, you know, to like go and reach out and meet some really incredible music appreciators. So yeah, there's definitely lots of good there.
Yeah. I'm starting to meet more people there too.
What's got it going on?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so
It
rebel.
does. It's a difference between playing to a room full of musicians and playing to a room full of music who have worked a hard week at work, have struggled for that money, and have chosen to spend that money to go see something that will make them hopefully feel better.
Right.
Like, you know, and that's you just get a little bit more of that in Clarksville versus the we're all clawing, it's Music Hollywood here, you know, I need my star in the Walk of Fame, and you know, and we've come out to the realization many years ago that, you know, we're aging rock and rollers. We're creating because we like to create, period, you know, and
that's what it has to be.
we're grateful that for the venue that Nashville has been to that, because it is what Jamie was saying, like we played everywhere you can kind of play in Milwaukee, and it's a really nuclear crew that exists there, even more so than here. It's even a slightly larger city, I think, but it's a more nuclear music scene, and the bands that are successful are cover bands strictly. And here you have a lot of cover band success. You have Broadway and all that stuff, and all the session guys and touring guys, and you know, but there's still at least a lot of ingenuity and creativity here. Like so much. I've just been wowed by all the.
Yeah, a lot of those guys do that to pay their bills so that they can make art, you know.
Oh yeah, it's no judgments. It's no judgments.
No, not that you were, but like there is like the I just, and y'all are not doing this, but to your point, like people look down on people that make money playing covers, and it's like well, they're doing that so that they can support the art that they do want to make, you know. And it's like yeah. I mean,
but
I think a part of that is also like people get jealous because it's like I make music, but I'm not getting paid for it. Why is this guy getting paid to go play covers? You know?
Yeah, especially on Broadway.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, though, was very much that's what they're expecting out of their career. It's not a lot. Like it's maybe guys who started off making original stuff, but then yes, it was just we only want to make money doing this, like it's you know what I mean.
That's always been a silly thing to me. Like if you want to make money, do literally anything.
Exactly.
If you're trying, this is a industry where you lose money, so you can do what you love.
Exactly.
And it's like if you can recoup a fraction of that, it's like that's great. But it's like that if you're here to make money, I got bad news for you. That's no one's making money here. It's like the successful band that's like regional and does regional circuits. It's like maybe they can pay their bills, right? It's like,
and those bills are minimal as hell.
Yeah, and they're not living extravagantly.
But there's just no room for creative outlets up there. There just wasn't. There wasn't
I
people
gotcha.
hungry for it. People wouldn't come to shows for it, even when there was. And we saw some really good talents in Milwaukee, but it just people weren't hungry for it the way they seem to be down here. I don't know if it's being warmer all year long keeps people rowdier or what's going on, but
Well, what I would
but
conclusions that I would draw is, looking at all of the things that are, challenging or you can get jaded about the national scene, but to its credit, all of the spaces and the venues are so gosh darn playable. And there's somebody there who can run sound and they know what they're doing. And there's enough resources that you're not singing into a microphone that smells funny and is dented in 17 different places. So like in Milwaukee, really cool venues, but like unless if you were, I don't know, bringing your own stuff or like a really big touring band, or I don't know what the situation was, but most of the time it just felt like the space wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't Nashville.
here you can walk down the street, that place has music, that place has music, that place has music, that place has music. You can assume that to function as a bar for any amount of time down here, the large majority of them have to have or continue to offer music,
Yeah.
of some sort, like
Right.
just because there's such a history to it down here.
For sure.
There, it's just, there was an era, I think, in the 70s where Milwaukee was kind of a little bit more happening of a scene, and then for whatever reason, it's just not. Anyways, it's been good to us down here. It's been
Oh, yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
It's been good to us down here.
I'm glad
yeah.
to hear that.
I mean, they all moved
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
Right.
it's
So-
either in Nashville or in Cali or New York or somewhere else.
Yeah.
100%.
If I can switch gears just a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
What kind of music was in the house growing up as a kid?
Oh, I love that question. So my parents can sing. And we went to church and we sang at church. And so we were always singing in the car and all of that stuff. But my goodness, do we love some Fleetwood Mac in that household? Do we love James Taylor in that household? My daddy loved rock and roll. He loved rock and roll. One weird thing though, I would never want to discredit my father, but this is strange. Not really that into Zeppelin. Why? But like Aerosmith and stuff like that, like he was all for it. And then of course Elton John. And then Taylor, what do you guys listen to in the Rocky house?
So if I had to put it down to one thing, it'd be Bad Out of Hell.
Really?
Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell,
Hell
which I'll
yeah.
go down swinging is the most metal, not metal album that's ever existed.
No, not
It's
metal.
badass. It's always been badass. It's ridiculous. But it's just the musicianship and the production and the motorcycle sound that Todd Rundgren did with the guitar. Like, you know what I mean? Like my dad would blast that. Like in the morning when he would go, his workout room was right next to my room. And it'd be like 6 a.m. It'd be dun, dun, and I'd go jet out of bed. Dun, dun, so
yeah.
that album was all over the place. And then using the older, well, I shouldn't say older country, but it is older at this point, 90s and older country. So Garth Brooks was a staple in our household.
So the good country.
Oh
The
my
good,
God.
the good stuff, yes.
George
Before
Strait?
it became the formula that was being,
Oh yeah.
before it became a product of
I
creating
love
to this
old
formula.
country and like bro country. Just
Can't do it. I can't
with
do
the
it.
hip hop beats is like I love hip hop. Don't get me wrong, but like what's the guy that threw a chair off the roof? What's the guy's name?
Oh, I forgot his name.
Oh, Morgan Wallen.
Morgan
yeah,
Wallen.
oh, yeah,
Like
that-
I
oh,
can't
Lord.
stand that shit.
Yeah.
But
Amen.
yeah.
Amen. I'm just saying, not everything goes together.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
you
love
can say-
chocolate. I love potatoes. But well, actually, you know what?
Someone might
Maybe
have-
not that.
someone
That one might be alright. But
But there are for sure combinations
yeah.
that you just they don't always have to go together. Like
Yeah.
maybe there's a way someone will do it yet still that will be really cool.
Yeah.
But they're just it's not a yin yang situation. It's these things are fighting each other situation so far. And again, I don't know, you can just smell this is you plugged it into these slots and here's a song and you give us our money now, like you deal with it. And I don't know. I don't want to just
Y'all come from
classic rock though, that was the other thing that we grew up
Gotcha.
listening to. Lots of classic rock, older country.
One
We
more,
love Bad Out of Hell.
yeah, one more thought on background too. Like musicals. My mama like Singing in the Rain, and then so funny. Taylor, when he was a teenager, they had a foreign exchange student, and he only listened to musicals, and it ruined him.
He was
So
in
when-
that room next to me. Remember the room that was the bat out of hell was
Yeah,
blaring
yeah,
at full volume? Zoom, nice guy. That was his nickname, Zoom. Was super into show tunes. And I
Right.
mean, from about that same time of 6 a.m. in the morning to when he went to bed at night, it was all of them
Oh my gosh.
over for a year and a half, every single day. I mean, we're talking the rough ones too. We're talking Pirates of Penzance, brother. It's just some of the driest, like My Fair Lady.
Oh no,
and
why?
I asked the same question. It was all of them, Jamie. It was all of them, and it was brutal. And we had to be gracious hosts, and that's what we did.
I was gonna get to a segment if y'all had any like supernatural or ghost stories, but you beat me to the
Oh,
punch. 'cause
oh.
I'll tell you.
That's the
Oh,
most
we got
haunted-
ghost
Yeah.
stories.
we'll get there, but that was the most haunting story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
so.
It was
No, did
Zoom-
y'all? Sorry, go ahead.
my mistake.
No, you're good.
So,
Yeah,
I say
go
Zoom
for it,
wherever
Alex.
you are. We love you.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing great, Zoom.
Did y'all grow up in religious households?
Taylor, you go first.
Yeah. So our household's Catholic, but like, I don't know, more of the like we just want to try and put some sort of moral code to our kid, kind of Catholic. But my parents both grew up in Catholic households. My mom was a little more practicing than my dad, and but around sixth grade or so, like we realized that again. I went to a Catholic school actually up until sixth grade, and then we kind of realized that this is not going to be a welcoming environment for the type of kid that Taylor is. And then I flourished as soon as I got out of there, and started playing guitar, and my life changed for the well. I'll say mostly better from that point on.
So it sounds like pretty casual, useful to
Yeah.
the point that it's practical to the point that it's useful, but then when it stops serving its purpose, there's no like.
I think
That's really cool. That's
I
like
think my
I
parents
like
don't
that.
practice it anymore. Really, like they'll like. I'm sure if I asked my mom or something, like she would go to a Christmas Eve service or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There's some
but-
utility to like a rough general framework, just Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with all the things
Sure.
with it anymore, that's for sure. I wouldn't
Yeah.
call myself a Catholic.
Yeah. I come from like a pretty strict religious background, so yeah, I know what you mean. But like, there's definitely like utility to it, though. Like I can see why, if you don't have a better answer, it can be a useful tool for people to defer to something bigger than themselves, if they don't have the answers themselves, I guess. Anyway,
Yeah. I think faith is good. I think organized religion is where the
Oh,
issues come up.
totally agree. Totally
And,
agree.
and that's where you get into the world. My belief is the right and wrong belief, and that's where it gets bad. And that's where the bad news is, right?
One of my
But
biggest,
faith is good. Religion is maybe what's, I don't know, for sure, a bit of why I'm in trouble right now.
for sure, I totally agree. One of my, I mean, everything you said, and on top of that, one of my biggest issues with organized religion is that no one knows, like, how many Christians have read the Bible,
Oh my gosh.
It's like y'all
And
don't
when you
even know
say
what
that-
you're talking about.
Yeah, when you say that too, like that is such a thick book of study, and it's like you need cover to cover, like, and you need even understanding all that
Yeah.
they're reading, because there's so many times you have to stop and be like, somebody who knows more about theology needs to walk me through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I was raised evangelical, non-denominational Christian, and my parents are good Christians who love everyone, who make sure that everyone is included and make sure that everyone feels valued, and that everyone knows that their standpoint is that Jesus loves you, period, right? And I, of course, have carried some challenges from the, maybe you could say, limitations that might have wrapped and constrained my mind with while I was a developing mind, before I really figured myself out, before I really figured a lot of things out, right? But I appreciate I appreciate my time in the church. Gosh, I love Veggie Tales. Oh, Bob and Larry. Oh, they're good. A tomato and a cucumber singing about
Yeah.
Jesus. Come on, who's gonna be mad at that? But yeah, like it's a process, and it's very much like what Taylor says. Love is the name of the game, and religion can cause divides, and you have to be careful.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, you got to keep in context that we are reading something that has been basically contorted and changed,
Yeah.
edited and selected as to what's even when you
Yep.
have all these other literal gospels of people that were written by people who were
Apocrypha.
with the dude, like they're
Oh, you're talking my language, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like to discredit all those completely is very naive and very closed-minded.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
That's a bit of the issues that I have now with a chunk of it, but there are good parts of it still, and there's actually even a part where it's in the when you start to get into the Revelation, the crazy stuff part, right, where some people are they're going to be pretend Christians, and you're going to get a lot, and you get the most of them,
Right.
For what I know, we could be witnessing that right now.
Can I say?
We could be living in it, brother.
Could be.
I
I think we are.
Right. I had an interaction with a gentleman. I was at a church the other day, which was great to gather, right? And I was specifically there for a kids Christmas or Christmas show. But nonetheless, he's talking to me about oppression, talking to me about how we don't have to go very deep into this. But he's telling me about how the Christians were really oppressed. And I would in any other time, tell him, I think it's because people now believe that Christians are specifically people who wear red hats, who hurl mean comments and hate groups of people, and that I speak against that. I
That's a
denounce
fake
that.
Christian.
You know what I mean? That is
Yeah.
not what Jesus
I
wants us to
totally
be.
agree. I think one of my favorite things recently is to tell people that they're not what they identify with. So it's like, I'm a Christian. No, you're not. Demonstrate that to me.
Demonstrate it. Make
Exactly,
me,
that's right.
make me
That is
know
a-
that already
yeah.
without asking any
Yeah.
questions.
Like, I don't call myself a Christian, but that's because I am very much aware that I'm not living that life, right? Not because I disagree with Jesus, but I'm not that guy. So it's like, for other people that, and I can make, like Jesus tells you, not to make these kind of judgments about people, but I'm not a Christian. So I'm
don't
not
have to live by the
living
rules.
that life.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but it's like if I'm more Christian than you, and you don't, you call yourself that and I don't, it's like, I think it's pretty fair to say, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not that. And it's like, yeah. Let's go with this. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
you
here
were
you want to go
Yeah.
further down the
Yeah,
rabbit
do
hole
it.
here,
Let's fucking
and
go.
I'm just gonna drop this little thing out in the universe and just let everybody stew on it. If Eve was created from a rib from Adam, Eve is trans. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say.
Say it again. Say it
If
again, but
Eve-
slowly.
For those in the back.
Yeah.
if Eve was created with a rib from Adam, Eve is trans.
She is
part man.
she is
She
at
part
least
man.
part man.
Oh
why
my
it's
She is
God.
at least
Wool
part
man.
man.
Yeah.
That,
She is at least part man.
that's
yeah.
So-
amazing.
Everybody love everybody.
You just
I
blew
don't know
my
why it's
mind.
so hard.
Yeah.
That is fucking incredible. I love that. She was a man. See, at least it's not even that she's part man. It's that she is part of a man
We're all the same.
that
is what it
became
means.
a woman,
Right.
right? So, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so funny.
I feel like to continue down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I feel like
we're going further.
I feel like
Fucking
when
go.
you're talking about
Oh,
is
shit.
it okay?
No, it's just a ghost. It's okay.
Yes.
Oh hell, that's a sign. I think
That
that's,
is a sign. And then we're gonna talk
I'm
about
sorry you got
hauntings.
assaulted by that ghost. That
We're gonna
was-
Is
talk
that what
about
happened?
hauntings
I think
after
so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You guys
consent.
got a haunting here.
Consent
Painting here,
ghost.
huh?
Consent.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Rick,
This is pretty cool,
seriously.
though, by the way.
I'm digging it.
Kid, you wear that most of the time? Like, I love that.
I'm Dead Rabbit, the DJ.
But like, no, when you talk about
Dead
things
Rabbit
like
5.
Yeah, Dead
when you
Rabbit
talk
5.
about things like I don't think I fit the mold, or I'm not necessarily living that lifestyle, or if you're talking about things like, well, if it really came down to it, like would I be invited into the pearly gates? Do I get salvation? Am I saved? And I would say, are you somebody who lives in love? Are you somebody who would wash the feet of somebody who has been walking for a long, long time? You know what I mean? Are you somebody who will kick it with just about anybody because you know that they have a soul inside of them? I think you're a lot closer than you think you are, and I think you don't need to put that wall up between
Well, thank you.
and
I appreciate you saying
you're
that.
forever, whatever that is.
I appreciate that because I totally agree with. Thank you for saying that. I think a lot of it is the effort. Like it's the path. Are you on that trajectory? Are you trying to get to that point?
Yeah.
And I like to think that I am, but I struggle with that. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, but I also really respect you for saying something like, I'm not going to say I am that if I'm not that, because there are things in religions, now we're talking about religion, where it's like, but the stamp is, but I believe in Jesus, you know what I mean? But I believe in fill in the blank, but I believe in, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, Jesus talks about how, and we don't. I'm sorry.
No,
I made this about religion.
It's excellent.
Okay, all right. If y'all are with it, I'm with it.
Yeah, dude.
So, Jesus talks about how faith without works is dead, and you will know them by their works. So it's like Christianity is unique in the way that it is about your actions. It's not about what you believe. It's about how you behave.
Yeah.
And that's always been something really remarkable to me about Christianity is how accessible it is. So you don't really even have to be able to read that well. As long as you're like taught the basic key points, then like no one can tell you that you're not that, you know? It's like that's why it's like, you know, well, there's bad sides to this too, but people do missionary work. They go to third world countries where people are not literate, right? And teach them these concepts, and then those people become Christians.
Right.
And it's like I do think there is a lot of value to that. Obviously, like, and as you pointed out in Revelation, like the Bible talks about how people are going to hijack this for profit.
Right.
Like this is all. It's like I thought my parents were crazy. Like when I turned 18, I was very much like obnoxiously atheist, like annoying.
Sure.
Oh,
so,
sure.
Yeah. Like
I went through
that
that
phase.
similar phase, honestly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like like my parents don't know what they're talking about. And as I'm getting older, I'm like, oh, things are getting really weird right now.
Right.
Who knows?
Who knows,
Never
man?
say never. Never say never. That's the thing is.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's okay to be gay. I think it's okay to be trans. I think it's all right, and maybe I'll be judged for that at the final gates. And you know what? I'm prepared for that. If that's what and if I have to answer that and I get turned around because of that, I do my best. I do my best. I'm just trying to love everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like, here's the thing about morality, okay? And this is something I'm glad you brought that up. This is something I've been thinking about too. Morality is a discovery, not an invention. I know in my heart what is right. Now, not everyone has a perfect moral compass. Some people think they know what's right and they're wrong. But at least like if you're asking me who is subject to my own thoughts, like I'm pretty confident I know what's wrong and what's right. You can feel it. It's a sense. It's like sight or sound. You have a feel for what's good and what's bad. We discovered morality. We didn't invent it. And if you take that path far enough, it gets you to like supernatural or like spiritual topics, right?
Right.
But there, where was I going with that? And something off of what you just said. Could you repeat it? Where were we just talking about?
We were just talking about how that like when we get to the pearly gates, I'm
prepared to answer for what I've
Yeah.
chosen to answer for.
So you were talking about how it's okay to be gay or trans. It's like that. Okay. Well, if something holds you in judgment of that and tells you that you're wrong, well, you know that that's not God, right?
Right.
Because you know what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
So anything trying to deviate from what you believe is the false shepherd that's like leading you astray. And I think we can see that when it's like unfortunately it's like rare to find God in a lot of these churches because it's what do they call it? There's a perfect word for this, performative cruelty. It's like I am like just this isn't about love. This is about like discrimination.
Yeah.
Right?
They're rejecting like empathy
Yeah.
for other people.
God's not here. Y'all kicked the God out.
Right.
But you can find it like just going to, like, for me, a big part of it is like my church is live music. Like what y'all do, if you all didn't know, what y'all do is extremely important. Like I wouldn't be here without live music.
Mhm.
So
I feel like we can say the same thing. Music inspired us to make music. The thing about it is it's a language, man. It's a language that reaches across geographical barriers, across spoken language barriers, and it's a community process. Like we're all feeding off each other. It's a circle life, a kuna matata. Like, so thanks for saying that, but thanks for liking music and loving music because that's all we are too. Like, like that's all I needed is. So.
Right. Have somebody there just bobbing their heads to it and like, actually be listening or be feeling it. At one point, we were at a drummer exchange program show and we talked to some sweet people in the audience, and one person told me once that when they listen to our music, they feel like they're at home. And that was probably the coolest thing I've ever heard anyone say about. But it's exactly right. I'm an advocate for music. I teach music, and I believe in its ability to make time stop. It's like the only thing that makes time move faster and slower at the same time.
Or go back in time.
Yep.
Shoot you back to that moment where you were in high school and you were smoking that cigarette and the snow was coming down.
Can we just talk about what we've been listening to lately? Because I am that is me right now. Evanescence. Oh, I cannot stop listening to Indie. Oh my gosh, me and her, we have been apart for too long, and we have found each other in my car. And I think I'm gonna go into my goth phase. I think this is getting black and blue next time.
Let's fucking go.
A little bit of mascara on these eyes. You know what I mean? Come on, guys.
Let's fuck. Oh,
it's time travel. You're right. It's time. It's time stuff.
Yes.
And like what's interesting about music too, or live music especially, is it's almost like a church itself too. Like like the musician is doing like a sermon.
Yes.
And even in between doing gospel, which is the music, sometimes they'll stop and they'll talk directly to the crowd.
Leslie Fitz a great example of that. The way Cordy, like in between songs, is like, "Hey, just so y'all know, like you're doing okay. Like you're doing great. Like don't be too hard on yourself. Like that. Like I know that means a lot to people. Like people will come up to her after shows and let them know.
Fellowship.
Creating community. It's a like you're among the right kind of people, like people that want to. You can't replace community.
No, and that is what lives and breathes in this city. Like, and what makes our music what it is like exactly what you're saying. Live music is a whole other thing because it's a living, breathing thing. It's like it's happening right then in front of you. You know what I mean? And
it's like communion.
Yeah,
it's like we're all taking communion together.
Right.
Yeah, we're all drinking the Kool-Aid together, bro.
I sometimes find myself wanting to tell the audience how much I love them. And there was one time where someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, I love you too." And it's like, I love you too, brother. But I wonder who told him before me, most recently, that they loved him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? How powerful that can be when you just can really mean it. You can really mean it. You can say, I have enough in my cup that I can just tell you, hey man, I fucking love you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean. Like sometimes what I like to do on the show is like get really like personal, because it's like if you can talk about even like a traumatic experience, which we've done on the show, like if you can be that level of vulnerable, first of all, it's gonna like take that load off of you, right? But also it's like you can be a hero, like, because if you can say that on a podcast, then maybe someone can have that conversation with their spouse. Maybe someone can have that conversation with their parents, right? And people are scared. People are terrified, and they're controlled by fear. And fear is just that. It's just this. There's nothing behind it. It is what it is. It's fear itself, right?
Yeah.
And so like I mean that when I say like I really appreciate what y'all do. And it means more to people than you could ever know. And that's great when people tell you, but like there's tons of people that aren't telling you how much
Right.
it meant to them.
Oh
also.
yeah,
But
totally.
they're kind of neutral.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Community neutral.
So,
100%. I
thank
know it's
you.
coming from a rabbit skull.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try. I mean, I try really hard too. I can tell y'all do like y'all care, and you're doing what you're doing because you love it and because you have to. Like, what else are you gonna do? Like,
Right.
yeah.
It'd be selfish if you didn't put it out there.
Well, so actually, this is you saying that really brought something that I actually love to post to the whole forum here.
Yes.
We've got a song, and then we've been playing it live, because in a way it's a little bit more fleeting than only, it's not permanent. And it was written from a place of really extreme sadness and heartbreak and feeling like he was betrayed by a friend, basically, who just ghosted us after years, and and just, I mean, this is someone who officiated our wedding. Like, I mean, since goes back to grade school, and I wrote a really honest and hard song about it, and it's very direct, it's very to the point, and it uses her name, and we've been really vacillating on, should we put this thing out? It's literally the best song that we think we have, but we're not, apart from addressing it with this person, we felt some hesitation of like, should we put this thing out in the world that is, in essence, a negative feeling? We're like, why did you do this? This is killing us. This is, you made some dumb choices and burned every bridge you had. Like, and I know there's art out there that talks about this similar stuff, right?
Yeah.
But we've been struggling recently if we wanted our representation in the world to be something that has a negative, and we're still weighing it a bit back and forth. We might change the name so that it's not,
I have an
but it
opinion
still is
on
very
that, but
personal
I'll
and it's
let y'all
very
go ahead.
real.
I would say too, prior, before like you give us the, like what your thoughts are on it too, like the pros and cons list already goes as like con, exactly what Taylor's saying, like it in some way shows negativity, and after we play it, people are like, yeah, fuck that bitch, you know what I mean? Like they're mad too, right? And that's a real person, that's a real person's feelings, right? But on the pros list, that was a real time that happened in our history, and that is a journal entry, and that journal entry needed to be written down, and it needed to be heard, and it needed to be said out loud, so that some people could get through the fact that if you've ever been ghosted by somebody, it's like they died. It's like they're dead. And yeah, what Taylor is saying is also true. But like, yeah, what would you do with that?
Yeah.
What would you do with that?
Yeah, so you're in our shoes. What do you think? Would you put it out there and let it, knowing that no matter what happens, you'll never talk to this person again, regardless?
Probably,
I'll
maybe.
say I think the potential good outweighs the harm. So like there is inevitable harm
Yeah,
in something like that,
it's gonna hurt.
but the positive outcomes of that are immeasurable. So like that, I listen to a lot of like negatively charged music, right?
Right.
And that helps me, right?
Okay.
That helps me. I can't really elaborate how, but it's like I listen to a lot of like heavy music, like it's angry, and there's something about that helps.
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. So making that kind of art, putting it out there, letting people relate to it or do whatever they will with it is adding to a conversation that we're all having. And I think that's worth a lot of repercussions.
Well, thank you for that insight.
What are
Because we've been
your-
weighing it heavily in how to do it, and and it's none of it's like, we're not trying, it's like violence against the person,
Yeah.
or like you should.
Oh no!
You should.
Don't hate them.
Yeah, you should find them on social
Yeah.
media and tell them
Forgive
much of an
them.
asshole they are, or like.
Because they're not.
I'm kind of
Did you,
like,
know,
did
it-
you also have thoughts?
It's a,
on
this is what you did. This is why it's bullshit.
right.
Like, are we ever going to talk again?
Well, I mean,
And that's how it
like you
ends.
mentioned earlier about they're dead or whatever. When someone dies, you have to like move on.
Yeah.
But,
And that could-
but sometimes that includes almost like having a burial or
A
having, like,
ritual.
a thing.
Yeah. And sometimes when you write that journal entry, you burn it after.
Yeah.
And burn after reading, and I think about when I was my yuckiest stage of myself, and I was maybe the most not who I really want to be, and somebody seeing that and grabbing that little journal entry and putting it into the world's diary for them to read, and it scares me that that person could hurt themselves over that. It scares me that they could not love themselves because of that. And especially it's their name, you know what I mean? Again,
Well,
we
we
can't
may
tell you.
change. We may change.
We
the
can't tell you what the
name
song
up
is.
from the actual person's name to something, a name that rhymes with it. Because there's a couple of the names that rhyme with this. No, please.
Cheyenne,
Yeah,
come
bring
talk
her-
into the
yeah.
camera or
So
the
she's
microphone.
working on a similar project.
Yo, shout out to Cheyenne Pullover Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in
Yeah.
here.
Woo!
Get in here.
Luigi,
We love
welcome
Cheyenne.
to
She framed the
Cheyenne.
shot and the lighting before y'all got here because she's such a pro.
I'll do my best. I think that from what I've heard, I think it's your experience, and like you were saying, this person wronged you in a way, and I feel like everybody should be able to talk about the things that have wronged them, especially if it's through art. I think that's so important. There's been so many powerful pieces that have been made about, betrayal and stuff like that, and honestly, I worry about stuff like that too. A lot of the characters I write are people I have experienced negative situations with, and I worry that I still have empathy for these people that have hurt me, because I'm like, for you to do something like that to me means that you obviously have something underlyingly going on with you, but
Yeah.
so do I.
Yeah.
So do I. And I feel like if there is honest, if you're being honest for one, genuine, and but not super disrespectful. I mean, if you're going about it in a pretty honest way, I feel like it's fine, as long as you're not directly being literally saying the name, putting the name out there. Then that's when it gets very, But that's my take. I think that you should, because it's real, it's honest, and the world, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. That's art. You should make it. You should let yourself feel what you feel. You should create what you feel.
Well, and just to let you guys in on the groundwork of it too, I think Taylor had a beautiful idea at one point of there's many names that rhyme with said name, and if we peppered in so many names that no one knew exactly who that person was, and then maybe this is me snowballing off of it. This is me snowballing off of it, but maybe that allows other people to identify with what it feels like to be a villain in someone else's story, because they're like, I've heard that name before, or that's my name, or you know what I'm saying?
Oh, personal.
Right, just being able to have more empathy for this person that we're talking about, because it makes you recall, it puts you back in your shoes of when you maybe were a little bit fucked up.
Yeah, there wasn't someone there to write a song about it.
Yeah.
Then for you, you just happen to be on the receiving end of it this time.
And I think it's beautiful that you're even thinking about it, because this whole situation has haunted me since day one. Every time we would have rehearsal, before the boys would come over, I'd go to Taylor and I'd say, I don't think we should be doing this song. I really don't think we should record this song. I don't think we should be playing this song in public. And it's something that has been on now Taylor's heart now recently. And I think that just is whoever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, but that means something's talking to you, and it could be your conscience.
I'm probably on the other end of this, where I'm pretty absolutist about speech.
Right.
There's very few things.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So I have kind of an extreme look on this, but I don't even think it's a bad idea to necessarily include names if that's what rings when you're making the thing.
Yes, and
one
that's
of the issues that we have with it.
No,
I say do it. Personally.
Yeah, well, no, but then
there's
on
an
the
alliteration
totally
to it
flip,
right now that's
making it work. On the total flip side of it, I 100% also agree. Like, I agree with Cheyenne in the way that I think we should maybe from the audience hide exactly what the name is. We should maybe make them guess a little bit. But in the way that Alex is saying, I 100% agree with you because I want to listen to Amy Lee sing about suicide. I don't want her to kill herself and I don't want anyone else to kill themselves, but I want to hear her sing about that shit.
We
You know
need
what I
it.
mean?
We
And
need it.
and yeah, and
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much of a better songwriter I was when I was dating because men were breaking my heart all the fucking time.
I'm going through something similar where it's like I'm having a hard time writing because I'm getting older and I don't feel as emotional all the time. Like I'm not,
Right.
it's not for me, it's not even like sad and emo. It's like I like a lot of my stuff is angry.
Right.
And I don't feel those emotions as much.
No.
And I wouldn't trade like my peace of mind like
No.
to be able to do that.
Nope.
But it's also like, well, fuck, like how do I write now? Because I don't.
It'll strike you.
You'll
That's
find
the thing
it.
about creativity
You're gonna
is
find
it
it.
doesn't strike you on demand. It strikes you when it wants to. Sorry.
No, you're good. I feel that with my stuff, this may or may not be necessarily healthy, but I tend to like tap into that energy again. Like I'll kind of remember it and I'll go over it and then it'll like give me the emotions, but I'll like tame it, you know? But like I will write out like the feelings that I had, like whatever words come to my mind from that like state of mind that I've kind of put myself in.
Bring it back to the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of therapeutic, but it also if
Kind of
you
poking the
live
bear a
if you
little
live
bit.
in it, it could you could suffer for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have to find that like equal medium. And that's how I do it. But
That's
sometimes I go a little too far and it's painful.
Right.
So, but it helps me I don't know, get it out, I guess.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even just talking about it with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. This shows is big therapy. Like,
Oh, I know. I'm having so much fun right now.
I'm so glad you're having a good time. I want to hear some ghost stories, and what I mean by that, because ghost story puts a specific connotation on it. It's like implies a few things, right, about the afterlife. Ghost is kind of like a big thing. So what I really mean is, do you have any paranormal experiences that you can't really explain?
How many paranormal?
Yeah, how many? Yeah, what do you have time for? All right, so we were talking about the Frederick house that her and I first played in a band many years ago in Milwaukee. Okay, and this was a decrepit house. It should have been condemned. I mean, half the house was sinking into the ground. Way too many people living in it. Not a good situation. But on top of that, there were strange happenings that would occur in this house, and it started with simple things like furniture would rearrange itself. Okay, no big deal. This is a college house. Someone's playing a prank. No one really thought anything about it, but it would just keep occurring. The basement in particular at the beginning had just a weird vibe to it. And it's super cool, actually, graffiti all over the whole walls. Like it had clearly been a party house for quite a while. But there was just some weird vibes in the basement. And at one point, the furniture that was rearranging itself, we moved it all down to the basement to allow some new furniture upstairs, make it hang out down in the basement. That started rearranging itself. People kept swearing that it wasn't happening. We still assumed it was a joke. One weekend, my friend came down from Eau Claire and stayed the night. And in the morning, we were making breakfast. And this sink is a 2-level sink, so there's a counter with a 2-compartment sink in it, basically, right? And we're each at a compartment of the sink doing dishes, right about ready to do dishes. And there's a stack of plates and greasy paper towel. And I can see the picture of it in my head. A stack of plates and greasy paper towels from the bacon grease. And I reach to grab one of these plates with this paper towel on it. And the second I reach to grab it, we both see the hot water handle on the sink turn and hot water comes steaming out. Now this house, like I said, this is a college flop house. Like you couldn't get hot water in this house for an hour sometimes. And we watch the handle turn and the hot water comes steaming out. And I look over at her like that. And she's looking back at me like that. And this is broad daylight too. And we just ran out of the house. Like, we're like, what the fuck?
That's right.
Holy shit.
That's right.
And so, yeah, that was hard to, because I mean, we both saw it, and it wasn't just me, and when you've got that witness there with you, and
Yes, that's
and I haven't talked to her in years, but I'd be curious to know if she remembers, as she has to.
Yeah,
It
who
was-
is this girl
it
that
was
was sleeping
so-
over at your house? I wonder.
Oh, well, it was before your
Yeah.
time. Before your time, my love. Before your
Yeah.
time.
that's the fact that there's like another person there to observe it gives it that like
Credibility.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you just watch the handle go,
Yeah.
and it squeaked and everything, and then hot water. You'd see the steam coming off of it, and I guess you could, I don't know.
So-
Maybe some science folks would say something like, "Well, the hot waters, there's so much pressure that it pushed the valve open," but I just don't think that's really how the valves work. I think you just get broken pipes or just spraying from the pipes
Yeah.
before you get the handles that turn. The handles don't turn by themselves.
Right.
This is more than a 360-degree rotation. It was just on. So yeah, that's my ghost story. And then I've also got some UFO stories.
was that the first time you'd ever experienced anything like that?
Oh,
Yes,
man.
yes. She's got a couple really good.
You
ghost
never had, even when you were a younger kid, you never had a sensation of there being like a questionable spirit in the space that you were
sensation,
in?
sure, but this was a physical thing
Oh,
that
yeah,
I
that's
appeared seemingly
What they
witnessed
call
with my eye.
poltergeist activity.
Yes, what a
Yeah.
poltergeist, exactly. It's poltergeist, and the rearranging the furniture and the creepy vibes kind of tied it all together. We didn't stay in the house much longer anyways because it was a college flop house. We were on a rental period. Everybody was going their different directions in their lives and in
Right.
different ways. And yeah, so that was the ghost story. And then a couple years later, my UFO story. And this was also with a co-witness. Okay, we were sitting on also in Milwaukee, several blocks up, and this is by their dormitory, upper level of a upper flat of a house, sitting on the front porch, and there's a whole dormitory tower to the southeast of us, and it's nighttime. We're out there looking at the stars, just hanging out, and we see three. I mean, starlight in the sense that that's their shape and the way they seem to be illuminating, but much brighter than stars in a perfect triangle formation. Okay, raise up above this dormitory, go up, down, like that, and then they did a 360, and then it shot off into the sky.
Crazy.
And it was nutty. It was nutty. It was like, I've seen videos of these triangle type formations before.
That's so crazy because I've heard, I ask everyone this. We've done 230 of these, and I've heard a similar story in a different state,
Oh my god.
completely unrelated.
these are happening all over the place.
Yeah.
That's what's nutty about it. And I don't know if it's some government project or some alien or something from a different dimension, or really all of our brains are short circuiting at the exact same time.
What makes the
or
most sense to you?
What makes the most sense? Oh,
Obviously, no one knows. I agree with you.
Extraterrestrial craft
Yeah.
would be. There's now all the scientists who said, well, there could never be life out there. Now they're all saying, well, actually, there probably has to be. Haha, just kidding.
Yeah.
So
New information.
now, have we gotten this material ourselves and made something out of it in secret? Quite possibly. I don't know,
Could
man. They'd be up to all sorts of
It could
crazy
be.
stuff, but
And I hear that a lot is it could be government recovered stuff that they've reverse engineered,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. And it's sure, it definitely could be. But that's where I'm okay, we're playing the odds game though. Would they be able to reverse engineer something like that?
right.
It's kind of seems like a foreign entity and at least of foreign origin,
Yeah.
from outer space.
Well, if they reverse
Yeah.
engineer it, they reverse engineer it from something that we didn't have.
Exactly.
So
I think a lot of the tech, even in commercial use, like fiber optic cable and stuff like that, seems like kind of a big jump from where we were.
Right.
Kind of where who the
technology
fuck
grows
came up with
exponentially.
this?
Yeah, technology grows exponentially. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't mean to derail. Was that the end of that?
Well, there's one other UFO story, but this
Save
one was
it,
by
though.
myself, so it wasn't as
Don't tell them all. Then
Oh no,
they'll never
you're right.
come
You save
back
it for your other
more.
part. We'll save
They'll
it.
never come back for more.
You're
then.
right. You'll never have it back.
I'm gonna
No,
give
you're
you
totally right.
one ghost story.
All right.
Y'all
I'll give
definitely
you
have to
one.
come back.
She's got two really
I'm gonna
good
give you
ones.
one.
She's-
Okay, give me one, and then next
You
time.
gotta give them both. They're really.
I'm only
good.
giving them one
Oh,
this
man.
time. The
All
next
right.
time I'll give them.
Hey, fair enough.
There seems
But
to
y'all
be-
gotta come back.
Okay,
They feel like
And
they're
bring
seeing
your
some
awesome
movies.
boots with you.
right. Thank you. Oh, I love
See how he
you.
slid
I
that
love
in?
So when I was just a middle schooler, my parents, my gosh, I don't know how they did it because we didn't have that much money, but they made sure that I could go on the school trip. And this year I was in French and we were going to Paris. So we all go on this crazy flight, get there, like crazy hours of the morning, waking up being like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, what time is it? Just a room full of middle school age girls. So it's the first night that we're in Paris, and I'm laying on my bed, and there's this beautiful window that I can see, and it's open. And I look out through the window, and I see this tall man. And I was like, no, what? Well, there's a man out there. And I didn't say this to anybody in my head. I was like, oh, wait a second. And I looked closer. And when I glanced and stared, I saw this tall figure with this like black cloak and had like kind of a skeleton for a face. And you could only see its face every so once, every so once in a while when it would like shift. So I asked the girls, I said, can you please just like close the window, like pull the curtains, like I can't sleep with that open. So it was the next day, and I will not use her name, but a young girl who was bunking with me said, so do you want to talk about what you saw? Said, I'm sorry, excuse me. You want to talk about what you saw? And then she began to tell me about her powers and about her minion that follows her wherever she goes. So I was mortified. And that night I slept with Christian music on full blast in headphones with everyone's stuffed animals in my bed with the window locked
Wow.
and closed, and the drapes were closed yet again. So the next day I was with this young girl, and it was time for us to run upstairs and grab something. We needed to grab our jacket or something like that. Or I don't even know what it was because it was really nice out. The weather was really nice. So it was time for us to run upstairs, and the concierge, the French concierge, reminded us that the doors were really tricky and they're really specific. Do not lose the key. Do not leave the key inside of the room. You need to not lose this key. So they reminded us this again and again. So both Vanessa and I decided to go up to our room because we needed to change shoes or whatever. I don't even know what it was. But the window that I've talked about so many times now was latched. It was completely closed and it was latched. And
Is
Vanessa,
this, what story is this on?
this is, I want to say I'm in the third story of this
Okay,
building.
so when you look out and you see somebody,
I see like it would be standing on top of what was, it looked like he was in a cloak, and so I couldn't see his feet, but it looked like he was hovering over this like
Okay.
lower part of what would have been a roof of another building.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm listening. I'm
So,
with you.
yeah, he wasn't just levitating. He was
I got
like
you.
standing on something, right? But so Vanessa and I are trying to grab our stuff, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the latch opens, the window flies, and this is on a totally still, calm day, nice weather, and this huge screaming wind comes through, like the sound, like, and Vanessa and I look at each other. We scream and we run out of that room and leave the key behind us. So we go downstairs to the concierge and we're trying to explain to him what happened. And it was like, it was out of a movie because he just wouldn't believe us. But that's what happened. So I went to my teacher and I told her I couldn't sleep in that room anymore. And I spent the rest of the trip with a different group of girls.
Whoa.
Yeah. I saw something.
Holy shit.
That's not even the better of the two.
Yeah, but I'm gonna save that one for next time.
Fair. All right.
Save
You
that
gotta
one
wait.
for next time.
You gotta wait for the next episode.
Yeah, tune
Next
in.
episode.
Um,
Drummer
Radio
Exchange
dials.
Program. Ghost Story Edition.
yeah, well, for sure. We'll get to it next time. But okay, can I ask some follow-up questions?
Mm-hmm.
Only if we get to
So-
also hear yours as well. Your ghost story.
I'll tell you off camera because I've told him a lot.
Oh, you have?
Oh,
Okay.
we've heard it.
All right. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
It,
No, that's fair.
it's on record already, so we'll talk about it off
I'd
camera.
love to hear it for sure.
But you were talking. I'm interested in this character of this girl.
Oh,
So when you say
Let's
she
call her
had some,
Cynthia.
yeah,
call
so
her
Cynthia, like you mentioned, what did she tell you?
Oh
Like
my
about her.
God, I was. So she was Wiccan. She was Wiccan, and as soon as she started to tell me about some of the spells that she would cast, and like some of these deep dark characters that would hang out with her, or follow her around, I kind of blacked out. Like I don't really know exactly, but it was just she was just like, I'm a witch, and I'm going to tell you all about how I'm a witch, which I am all about people celebrating their life in whatever way they see fit. I totally understand why people would want to liberate and love nature. God is an amazing creator, and nature is a beastly sight. You know what
Don't
I
bring
mean?
your
Like,
spooky stuff
right.
around me, please.
But like, yeah, please don't. I love you. Please don't hurt me or my future unborn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you have any alien stories?
Oh, so I used to really like drinking the alcohol. So the time that I remember being a part of an UFO story, I really remember being part of an UFO story. And the next morning, Taylor was like, "You remember?" And I was like, "I had so many."
So this is one of your stories.
This is one of mine, and that's why
Yeah.
I can't say that I had them.
Yeah,
This for me
because I
she
was
didn't
right
remember it
there.
happening, but
I was
yeah.
right there.
but it was in the
Kind
mountains of Colorado, and you could see these things just like the
And he
little
was like,
dots,
"Jamie,
and they were
did you see
zooming
that?"
around, and they were way up there. But if you've ever
Was this
been
in Milwaukee too?
no, the Colorado mountains, the
Oh,
Rocky
shit.
Mountains. Yeah.
Okay.
So once you get up in that altitude, if you don't have storms, which are you're literally inside, you have clear skies, and you get. That's why they put observatories at the top of volcanoes and stuff like that, because you get the clearest skies, and way up
Oh
there
my
you could
God.
see these little. And you think that they were shooting stars, except for they would stay on, and they were shooting around, and just like.
Wow.
And they were just, yeah, I mean, and then they would just disappear for a minute, and then they would come back here, and they were way up there. They were much further away than what I saw over those towers. What I saw over those towers was very close, and it didn't look like it was three lit points of a triangle shape. It looked like it was three different bodies that were all functioning in perfect synchronicity in these unbelievably, light patterns, impossible.
And then they
for
group
what we
together
had.
and blast off.
Oh yeah, no, they were so like a triangle over here. It would go up like that, and flip upside down, up like that, up and down. Do a 360 and then shot off. It was nuts. It was nuts, dude. I've never.
Different people completely unrelated to each other give similar accounts,
It
and
seems like they're putting on a show, man. That's
Right.
what it's, you know what I mean? It seems like look at us. Look. Yeah, it was. It was they can. You can. Like it was.
Because I hate check this shit out. My one buddy, y'all familiar with Mouthful? Local
That
house
sounds
venue.
so familiar.
No.
So R.I.P. Mouthful. They actually closed down this year permanently, but a like Nashville staple house venue, Mouthful. My buddy Zach Caffrey has a story about very similar experience, but he feels like he called out to it with his mind.
Whoa.
And like it showed up, and then he had it because it's something to do with, I think, like for sure there is more to the human mind that they're telling us. Like we have abilities beyond our five senses. Like there's, I mean, it's y'all familiar with telepathy tapes?
Tape?
It's yeah. So I can't remember her name, but this woman did a podcast on. She was doing work with nonverbal autistic kids.
Yeah.
And this podcast was the most popular podcast in the world for a while, like on Spotify. For like a month or two, it was the most listened to podcast in the world. And basically, they've done repeated experiments with nonverbal autistic kids to prove, because scientific method, repeatability, that's what you have to do for something to be science, right? Well, they've done this. Nonverbal autistic kids can read minds. And it's not
Oh my
even that,
gosh.
it's not even that it's just them. It has to do with they're exercising that muscle because they can't communicate normally. So we all have this latent ability,
Yeah.
but if you're an effective communicator, you don't really need to rely on reading people's minds. So you
Right.
don't exercise that muscle as much.
Yeah.
Sure, it's like well, if you close your eyes, you hear better.
Yeah, exactly.
Same phenomenon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but this is science now. Like we have ways of perception that are not the five senses.
Science.
Yeah. And it is cool to see this like recorded and like in like a way where no one can like poke holes and be skeptical about it,
Right.
you know. But
That's awesome.
and I mean I'm sure
People
you
still will.
could.
Yeah, people.
Oh,
still
I'm
will.
sure you
Definitely
could.
Still will.
If you try hard enough, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Hey, like, what the fuck do I know, right?
Well,
But like, I just watched this podcast. So.
For the skeptics out there, is it theoretically? What's the probability that all of these crazy things, all these seemingly impossible, nonsensical, fantastical things, are every single last one? There's no truth to any of them. Mathematically, think about that.
Who?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, what's the percentage of likelihood? Yeah, that
-7.
every single one of these things is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that's all of one thing or all of the other.
Yeah.
Like, there is no, even the things that we know about in science, we have to change our definitions in the textbooks every now and then. Like, that's just part of learning in this world. So, it's good to keep an open mind. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Faith. I mean, science is not faith-based. It's rigorous testing.
Yeah.
It's
So
constantly challenging what you believe you know. It's like putting those things to the test. Faith is the opposite of that, where it's like if you say anything contrary to what I believe, and like we see it with politics too, where it's like, oh, you say anything about my president, then like you're attacking me. Like that hurts my feelings because I am a Republican. I am a Democrat. I am a Christian. I am a Muslim. It's like that is who I am. That's what. So if you say anything negative about it, it's like that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, you're coming for me.
It's like, yeah. And it's like, well, actually, you're none of those things. You're a human being. That if you're not changing your mind, that's a problem. Like if you are going your whole life and you haven't changed your mind, it's like, that's bad.
right.
Like you've never been wrong about anything.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah. And like the humility, I think, is really important. That's where we get into cults, where it's like groupthink. And it is like growing up in a religious cult, it is really obvious to me how the faith aspect bleeds into things that are not religion, right? Like we treat these things like religion. Like sports is a great example. It's like, which is like an innocent example. It's actually not a big deal. It's like I'm ride or die for my team.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're, this is different than the Aztecs where it's like, well, we're going to sacrifice children to make it rain.
Oh,
Is it working? Is it not working?
right.
That doesn't matter when it's your favorite football team.
Right.
Where it's like if they're bad this year, the stakes are pretty low. Like this isn't costing anyone their lives,
Yeah.
So it's like that can be an innocent kind of like I'm going to put my faith in this, but it's a tribal thing that people do, and it hurts their development. And there's like I think sports are actually a good thing for this reason. It's like okay, put your faith in your sports team instead of like in where we all come from or like how we should run the world. It's like a much more innocent, going to cause less problems kind of thing.
Yeah. So do you think about all the problems that the NFL really just causes?
Oh, so I'm not a sports guy, but I had my friend, shout out Connor Spillane from Karma Vulture. He was on here. Yeah, I fucking love those guys. But he was on here recently telling me about NFL conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a sports guy, so this was all fucking news to me.
Right.
And if you want to get me into sports, conspiracy theories is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And I did he told me a lot of shit about the NFL I didn't realize about how kind of like shady and weird that whole universe is.
It's all the
But I love the Packers. Go Pack.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay, so no one knows obviously, but what do you think happens after we die? What makes the most sense to you at this point in life?
Oh wow. So that's such do you mean like when we all die or how we naturally are leaving this plane of existence one person at a time where we go in between?
Sure. So I don't bring this up just to tell you what I think, but the answer could be it's the same thing for everyone, or it could be that it's different depending on who you are.
Oh, I
right?
hear you.
So I guess I don't want to answer the question for you.
Oh
so,
no,
what
that's good though.
do you think? I guess okay. So do you think the same thing happens to everyone, or do you
Right.
think it changes?
Depending on the person.
Sure.
What do you think, Mary?
Okay, so that's funny that you mentioned that because there's been many times in my life where, in my more recent life, where I wonder, am I dead already? Is this the sixth sense that's happening here? And I'm Bruce Willis, and I've got my version of the afterlife happening to me.
Right.
Because I've had some close calls, whether it was a truck coming right through an intersection, running a red light and about to T-bone me, or whether it was in my younger days getting too hard into substances, times where I don't know, but I didn't go to sleep and never woke up, and I'm it's a crazy thought. Like some people would probably say that this is some sort of psychological condition. I should probably go see
Solipsism.
But it's a fun thought, and that I might be already in my limbo. Maybe I'm very well not, in which case then I have no idea what happens.
No one does.
Yeah.
What makes
I would love the thought of being reincarnated in some way, and that heaven could be reincarnated as a better, as a better place than where you were before, or reincarnated into a worse existence. Maybe that's heaven and hell. Maybe, maybe we're already living right now, and you get to continue this personalized existence afterwards. Maybe we wake up in our matrix feed tubes, and we all get slopped out, and we have to go meet with Morpheus. I don't know.
Yeah.
The simulation thing is fun to think about it. Because we just can't. Another thing we just can't disprove. So that alone makes it fascinating.
Yeah. The older I get, the less sure I am of because it could be any of those things.
It could be it.
Yeah. So that your favorite idea though is kind of like a reincarnation and maybe like a sifting. If there is an afterlife, a sifting between like a separation.
Well, I think all right. So if anybody could pick their ideal afterlife situation, who's not going to pick a classical version of heaven, which is everything that you could ever want, everyone you ever wanted to see, all the songs that you could ever want to hear, any experience you could want to experience, but that does beg the question of, are you the only one experiencing it? Because maybe not everybody on your wish list made it up there either, and then would it really be heaven at that point if they actually didn't make it up there? Would it be your heaven if they actually make it up there and you just had this fill in, this ghostwriter fill in kind of thing? But who wouldn't pick the classical, get everything they want version?
Absolutely.
But a reincarnation thing sounds cool too. I would love to come back as a bird. I'd love to be able to fly.
That's the next step. That's you moving up in your dharma.
Yes.
It's like humans way down here, bird is up here.
Yeah, I'd love to be an eagle or a hawk and living in the pine trees and fishing out of the lakes in the north woods.
Bird of prey.
Oh yeah, that. Sign me up. Sign me up. There's definitely some animals I think I would not choose to be. One that I could fly. Oh man, yeah.
Snake seems pretty low level.
Right.
It's slithering around. You have no legs. I mean, maybe. Hey, you know what? What do I know? Maybe it's peak existence is snake.
Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of snakes in lots of different places. But no, you're right. Probably crawling through dark, damp.
Yeah.
Compact cases and eating rats is not everybody's idea.
I like the idea of the bird though. Yeah. Big,
You know?
big ass albatross.
Yeah,
It's like
maybe-
9-foot wingspan.
Yeah, maybe you really like the ocean. Maybe you come back as an orca or a dolphin or
Yes.
you know, like I don't know. That
Hell
that
yeah.
also sounds like a fun alternative. If it could be either of those, I'd be super stoked. But
Hell yeah.
I don't know, man.
Dude, me either.
No way.
That's why I asked, because I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
I have no idea. No idea what happened.
It's,
I used to think about it a lot more than I do, but I still think about it sometimes.
The other thing is, since you can't always truly know, or maybe you can know, but if you got a struggle and you know, then just do what you can to make heaven on earth here while you're here.
Amen.
You know, like, yeah.
Amen, brother.
You know, maybe, like I said, maybe we already all are here.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm having a pretty good time.
dude, yeah, dude, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like the Bible depicts this time in our existence when heaven truly comes to earth, and like it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Even if you were lost for a while, if you were damned or whatever, you know, for a period of time, like you all, when you realize, when you see God's face, right, you're supposed to change everything, and so you know that you're okay and you're all together and you're all one, you know what I mean? But fuck yeah, man, I wish I believed in reincarnation. Are you kidding me? There'd be so many things I could be. Oh my gosh, I could be a platypus.
you know they sting?
What don't they do? Don't
They-
even get me
They
fucking started
sting like a
on
really
platypi.
mean sting. Like
They
What?
also
they sting.
they sting.
They sting.
They also glow in the dark.
They do not.
They're bioluminescent. Okay,
How do I not
No,
know
no.
that about platypuses?
hold on. They're mammals.
Platypus?
They're mammals, but they
Right,
lay
I know, right?
eggs.
I know
Ma-
that. Oh, I
mammals
know
that
that. That's
lay
why I
eggs.
want to be one.
They fucking sting and they glow in the dark. We do y'all know the band Platypus 9?
No.
I'm actually interviewing him tomorrow, Joseph K.
Excellent.
from
Excellent.
Platypus 9. But he did an episode with us a long time ago where he was like, platypus is the best evidence you have for genetic manipulation. Like that thing did not occur naturally. It's his best. So it's just crazy to bring up a platypus. I don't mean to derail, but you said platypus.
Platypus.
So you'd be a bird. You'd be a
It's my
platypus.
it's my spirit animal. It's my
Hell
spirit
yeah.
animal.
Hell yeah.
They're just I mostly jest, but they're just so cool. They're so unique.
They are
They are unique.
extremely unique.
Yeah, it
Right.
is
And the
incredible.
They have a
animals native
bill?
to Australia, like come on. Come on.
Wait, they are?
Tasmania.
No, I thought platypus was also Australia.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I know it's Tasmania for sure.
How'd they get here?
How did they get?
Did
Well,
people bring them here?
so if it's
What are
true,
they
They swam.
planning?
so
they
if it's,
flew.
all right. So if it's truly Tasmania only, and this is just hypothetical, if it's truly Tasmania only, then maybe it's a small island syndrome where you get basically wildlife that becomes extremely biodiverse within itself.